Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for August 7th, 2025. The nations have sunk in the pit. From Psalm chapter 9, verses 15 through 18. The nations have sunk in the pit that they have made. In the net they hid. Their own foot has been caught. The Lord has made himself known. He has executed judgment. The wicked are snared in the work of their own hands. The wicked shall return to Sheol, all the nations that forget God. For the needy shall not always be forgotten, and the hope of the poor shall not perish forever. There's a kind of justice built into the way that God governs the world. A justice that often reveals itself without warning. David puts it bluntly. The nations have sunk in the pit that they made. You see, the wicked set traps for others, but end up being caught in their own schemes. What they meant for harm loops back on them. Now, this isn't karma. It's the righteousness of God in action. The Lord has made himself known. He has executed judgment. God doesn't need dramatic intervention to expose evil. Often, he simply allows the wicked to walk right into the consequences of their own actions. Their hands build the snare, and their hands close it. We have seen throughout history corrupt leaders rise with power only to be undone by the very systems they twisted. Nations plot violence and end up crumbling from within. What David saw in his time, we continue to see in ours. Injustice might look victorious for a while, but God is not absent. God is active, and God is just. Verse 17 delivers a serious truth. The wicked shall return to Sheol, all the nations that forget God. Now, Sheol is the realm of the dead, and it's more than just a physical end. It represents spiritual ruin. To forget God is not a harmless oversight. It is rebellion that leads to destruction. David isn't speaking from a place of personal vengeance. He's declaring the reality of what happens when humanity turns its back on the Creator. And yet, in the middle of this weighty warning, there is hope. For the needy shall not always be forgotten, and the hope of the poor shall not perish forever. God's justice doesn't just bring down the wicked, it lifts up the oppressed. The poor and forgotten may be invisible to the world, but they are never invisible to God. Their hope is not misplaced. So these verses remind us that God's judgment and mercy walk together. He brings down the proud, but he does not abandon the humble. Evil may thrive for a moment, but God's justice is never late. And hope, true hope, the kind grounded in God's promises, will never fail. So when you see wickedness sort of win the season for the day, remember this: the Lord sees, the Lord acts, and the traps laid by the unrighteous will not stand forever. In God's time, God will make all things right. Until then, the poor can hope, the faithful can trust, and the righteous can rest in his rule. God's peace and many blessings be with you, and thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others.